Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the video. So here today is the second part to this long PS3 tutorial thing that we're doing. In the first part, I mentioned, what our ultimate goals are and all that stuff, for this big tutorial deal. And I told you that in order for us to move forward, you of course need to be armed with the right tools. Now, as we move along later on, there'll be more stuff to download, but I believe that these first tools that we're telling you to run and install and everything are essential for us to go forward with what we need to do. So watch that video. The link is in the description. It will tell you how to install PS3 tools, which is honestly, it's a must. You really should have that installed. Here today we're going to cover more tools that you should have installed that kind of complement those, or for people who had trouble installing those tools, then this is going to help out. So let's go ahead and let me show you first a couple things that you will need to get. If you don't have them already, I suggest that you get a Hex Editor. And the Hex Editor, the vast majority of people, developers, whatever, use is the HXD Hex Editor. And when you type it into the search bar, it should be the first one that pops up, and you'll get taken to its site. And then you can just scroll down and go here to the download page, and you can download the language that you want. And you can just go here to download per HTTP, and then that'll just allow you to save it to wherever you want. The next thing you should get is Notepad++. If you don't have it already, we're going to be using this a lot for various things, and it's probably one of the most used programs that I use on my PC, if not the most used aside from the browser. So yeah, Notepad++ is definitely a must. So type Notepad++, and there you go to the home, and then just download the most recent and stable version for your PC. Now let's go ahead and download that zip file that's in the description. Alright, so when you download that zip file and you open it, you'll see there's 3 files in here. The Param.SFO editor only needs to be installed if you didn't install the PS3 tools from the first video. The link is in the description. So if you didn't install those, or they didn't install properly or whatever, then yeah, you may want to go ahead and install this. But if you did install them, then the Param.SFO editor is already there, and you don't need to install this. In that video, we did talk about the package tools options that appear here when you right click on a package file like here, or you right click on a folder or something. Even if you're having trouble having this display or come up in your context menu, but the rest of the tool set installed, then your Param.SFO editor will be in there, and there's no need to install this one. For those of you who are going to install it, make sure that when you run it for the first time, you right click and you run it as administrator. I also suggest that you guys maybe put a folder or 2 on your desktop and call it like PS3 Utilities or something, where you can put all of these tools that we'll be using all in one place to make it easier to find. I already have my Param.SFO shortcut right down here, so I don't need to install this. The next is the TA Eboot resigner, and then there's the TA package repacker. Let's start with the TA Eboot resigner. TA means true ancestor, by the way. And when you go into that zip file, you'll see the TA Eboot resigner folder. We're just going to drag it into our desktop. Then I'm going to go back and go into TA package repacker, and there's the folder, and we're going to drag that to the desktop. All right. So once it's done transferring here, 7-zip is really slow. Okay, so we have both of those right here. Let's go ahead and close this. Okay, so having both of these tools here are definitely going to help later on. And even if you have the package tool options here, when you right click on a package or right click on a folder, it's still recommended that you download this True Ancestor package repacker, because it gives you a little bit more options, or I shouldn't say more options, but it just gives you a different way to do things, and it's good to have it as a backup. So I would install this either way. Same thing with the TA Eboot resigner. And I'm not going to go over how to use the Eboot resigner right now, because in the future videos here coming up, regarding these tutorials, we're going to talk about that more in detail. But I am going to cover a little bit today about the package repacker. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do with these is you're going to want to, let's go into the Eboot resigner. You're going to right click on resigner.exe, go to properties, go to the compatibility tab, and make sure that you check mark the box that says run this program as administrator, then click apply, and then click OK. All right, you're going to do the same thing with the TA package repacker. You're going to go to repack.exe, right click on it, go to properties, compatibility, make sure you check mark the box, run as administrator, and then click OK, and that's the only time you'll have to do that. All right, so for this next segment, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about just a little bit about packages, since we're going to dedicate the next 2 or maybe even 3 videos to all things package files. Just to get you started, I'm going to go ahead and cover just a few things here. So if you look at my PS, we're going to use mana guns as a kind of like a guinea pig here. So let's go into mana guns. Okay, and here we have mana guns main menu here, and you know, I kind of like this is a game manager, kind of along the same lines as a you know, Multiman and Irisman and stuff, and it's actually not too bad. It also reads, I believe, NTFS USBs without you having to do anything. So that's a whole nother thing. Maybe I'll make a video about it one day. But I don't like this main menu. You can of course change it. It comes with different themes and stuff, and I'm going to show you what I did later to my quote-unquote repack version. So let's go into the file manager here, and I do like this file manager. It's nice and bright. Let's go into dev HDD. Let's go into game. Okay, and if I scroll down here, you will see this, this mana guns is where this program we're in right now is installed to. All right, so let's go ahead and let's close up all of this. And let's go back to our XMB. All right, so down here we have the mana guns package file. Let's go ahead and open TA package repacker. We're going to go into the PKG folder here, and we're going to drag our package file in there, the mana guns one. Okay, let's go back to the main deal here, the root of the folder, and now we're going to go into repacker.exe. All right, and when we open it, you'll be presented here with this main menu. Kind of old school and crude, but it gets the job done. Now, one of the things I suggest that you do is first go into number 8 because you want to see some package info. So type 8, hit enter. It's going to show you a list of all the package files you have in that PKG folder. In this case, we only have one, and it's the mana guns, and it has a number 1 next to it. So since that's the one we want, we're going to press number 1 and hit enter. If it was number 2 or something like that, we would have hit number 2 or number 3, whatever. So what we're concerned about right here, at least for now, is the content ID. Really, what you should be concerned with are these first few letters here. We're going to change this. All the rest from here is going to stay the same. We're going to change this right here, and we need to remember this. So it's EP301. You may want to write that down somewhere. So let's press any key to continue. Let's press B to go back. Now that we have that information, we're going to go ahead and unpack this. So let's hit 3, hit enter. And there's our package files. That's the only one that's there. So let's put number 1 and press enter. And this may take a while depending on the size. This one's only like 10 megabytes or 12 or something like that, so it doesn't take long. Press enter to continue. And that's pretty much it. Let's press V to go back. Let's minimize this for now. And when you unpack the package file, it will put the unpacked package file, the folder, in the game folder right here. Okay, so and there it is, mana guns 0. And that's what I showed you right now here on the PS3 when we were in the file manager. So now that you have that folder there that you just unpacked, let's go ahead and go into it, and you should see some familiar stuff here. There's the icon, which you can edit. There's a pick 1, which is the background image when you hover over it on the XMB. Of course, pick 1s are not necessary, or you can add your own. If one is not there, you can always add sound and even a little video clip icon, and we're going to cover that later on in these tutorials. So you can edit those. you can go into the USRDIR folder and you can start editing some of the backgrounds and doing all of this stuff. But for now, we're going to cover that in the videos to come. In the next couple of videos, we'll cover the, all things packages and eboots and stuff like that in those videos. So right now, this is just kind of to get you started. What I did here was I did edit some things for this. So I'm going to show you. Let's go over to GUI. Let's go over to list, and right here I had changed that. See, I did this here earlier, so let's go into GUI, let's go into list, default, and I'm just going to drag that there and copy it over. All right, and then let's go and change some of these icons. We're going to switch out that one, and then we're going to switch out this one. All right, that's it. So I changed these two icons and I changed the background. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Param.SFO editor, and we're going to drag this Param.SFO over to the Param.SFO editor, and see it says Mana Guns 0. That's where it installs to in the game directory on your PS, but we're going to change that. I'm going to put KMZ, and you can change this to whatever you want, but make sure it doesn't conflict with anything that's already in your system. I'm going to put KMZ00 guns. All right, and then I'm going to just put KMZ repack. All right, right there. That's it, and leave everything the same. We're going to be discussing this later on, some of these things right here, as well as some other stuff here in these Param.SFOs in the videos to come. So then click save. It'll say saved right here. So the Param.SFO has been saved. Now let's back out. Now we have to change this. This folder must match whatever ID that you put right now in the Param.SFO. This has to be the same. And this must be caps. So we're going to put KMZ00 guns right here and hit enter. All right. So now we're going to back out of that. So now here, the unpacked folder is now called KMZ00 guns, just like the Param.SFO. Now let's go to the repacker.exe, which I think I already had open. Yeah, I have two open. No need for that. Let's go here, and we're going to go into custom package number 2. Press number 2 and then enter. And this is, if it's a game or a homebrew or some type of app, which is what this is, and the majority of the time what you're going to be using, like if you're going to create loaders or whatever, that's what it's going to be the majority of the time. It's going to be number 1. So it's either going to be a HDD game, a homebrew, or an app. So let's press number 1, hit enter, and there's the folder that it found. This is the one we just changed, and now it says KMZ00 guns. All right. So we're going to pick number 1 because that's the only one that's there. All right, and now it's asking you for the content ID. Now remember, I told you those few numbers, the first numbers that you needed to remember, or the first 5 or 6 characters. Well, here, and make sure they're caps. I think they're caps by default. This was EP0001. Everything else needs to be pretty much the same, except right here. Make sure you put the dash, and again you're going to put the same deal that the folder is called, KMZ00 guns. All right, and then from this point on, all of this from here on out could be the same as it is right up here, and pretty much this part was the same too. So let's do 00, then a dash, and then just a bunch of zeros, and these are zeros, not O's. All right, when you get to the end, everything should line up perfectly. Then just hit enter. All right, and how long this takes just depends. If you were doing this with my like BO2 loader, it's almost 500 megabytes. This is going to take a while. So it's already done. Let's press enter. All right, and we can hit B to go back, and let's minimize this. Now the finished package will be here in our package PKG file. Let's go in there, and there it is. This package file can be named absolutely anything that you want. Just make sure that the .pkg is at the end of it and that it remains lowercase. The rest doesn't matter at all. So we're going to just call this, I don't know, KMZ Mana Guns Repack. All right, there we go. I didn't want it to be all caps, but that's okay. As long as the PKG is small, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to my PS3, the package file. Okay, and I put it in the packages folder of my PS3. All right, so let's minimize that. And now if we go over to the PS3, go into Package Manager. Let me make this a little bit larger so you can see it. Let's go into Install Package Files. Let's go here, and there it is. So let's go ahead and install it. If there was a problem, sometimes right here it would say there's an error and it wouldn't finish installing it. So this is already a good sign. All right, and when we go down here, now if you take a look, there's the mana guns that I showed you earlier, but here's the repack. And you can see the different shaded icons. See, so we now have two that are installed. That's because this one installed somewhere different. So let's go into it. Okay, and look at that. Now it has the custom background that I made, where I altered it or whatever. See, that's there, that's displayed. And if we go into the file manager, all right, let's go there. Let's go to the dev HDD0. And let's go here to game. All right, you can see that there's the KMZ 0 guns right there. And then there's the mana guns right there. So same program installed in two different places. Now you may think, well, you know, at first, okay, why would you want the same program? But you're not making the same one. You're especially when you make a loader, you're going to be doing different things with loaders, and they need to install in different places. So if you were using my KMZ multi-loader tool, the base version, I made a video about this a while back, see? And if you go and look at that video, the part 1 and part 2 of that video, it shows you how to make your own loader and put different SPRX menus and eboots to different games all in one place in one loader. However, if you follow those steps and you use these steps that I just showed you, you can now make a loader to every game. Every single game can now have its own loader because you can put it into its own place in the game directory of your PS3. So here, you know, let's say you wanted to use the loader, you would simply, you know, let's use this as an example. You would unpack my KMZ multi-loader base tool, and when you're here, you can just go to the Param.SFO, and when you edit it, you can just put, if you want to dedicate it to like Black Ops 3 menus and stuff like that, you can just put like BO3 loader right here and follow the same steps. And then you can name this folder like BO3 loader. And then, you know, just follow the same steps I showed you just now. And then the loader will install somewhere differently. And then you can just dedicate that loader or that tool to that specific game. We're going to talk more about that in detail in the next couple of videos. Sorry this was so long, guys, but you know, I like to be detailed. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and we'll be talking more about packages and loaders and all the stuff we can do with this over the next possibly 2, maybe even 3 parts of this series.